All right, so if we want to talk about our axis of symmetry, one thing that we have to remember when we have it in this form is that we can use our formula. So if anybody can remember our formula, we know that it looks something like y equals negative b over 2 times a. All right, and that's the same every time. So basically we take the opposite of whatever our b value is, we put it on top, and we divide it by 2a. And a is your value in front of your x squared. All right, so for this problem, our opposite of b, notice that we have a negative 54 for b. So if we're going to take the opposite, that means that we now have to have, and I just noticed I put y, it should be x. So x equals. All right, and if we take the opposite of our negative 54, we should have a positive 54 on top. And that's going to be divided by 2 times our a value. And our a value here is highlighted in red, or 3x squared. So 2 times 3. So if we do this multiplication, now there's one or two ways you can do this. You can either go ahead and put this in alpha y equals, and then just type this whole thing in, and that'll solve that for you. Or if you just want to do some of the math by yourself, you can do 54 divided by 6, which we know gives us 9. So for this problem, x is equal to 9. Now again, you can put this in alpha y equals, and it's just going to go ahead and solve this for you, and it'll give you the same thing, x equals 9. All right, so that's one way to find our axis of symmetry, however you spell that, whatever. All right, so that's one way to find that, and we will look at another problem just to show it again. All right, and again, if you didn't get that down, you can always pause the video. You can watch the example a second time. So with this, we have x squared minus 18x plus 86. And if we recall again, our formula is x equals negative b over 2 times a. All right, so you can always plug this in. We find our b value. We'll highlight that in yellow again. So our b value is always the one with just our regular x. All right, it's the one in the middle if you have all three items. And there will be times when it's not there. In those cases, make sure that you put 0 if that happens to be the case. So we need to take the opposite of b. Right now our b is a negative 18. So if we take the opposite of it, we need to have a positive 18. We've got x equals a positive 18 over 2 times our a value. Our a value will be highlighted in red. All right, we'll notice here that there's not a variable or not a coefficient in front, so we just know that there's an understood 1. So we end up with 18 over 2, which is just basically 18 divided by 2, which is 9. So again, you can put this in alpha y equals if you don't want to do the division by yourself. It's the same thing. It'll solve the problem. So for our axis of symmetry this time, x equals 9. So axis of, and I'll try to spell it right this time. Let's see, sy, maybe there's 2 m's. I don't know, whatever. All right, so that's how you find your axis of symmetry. Make sure you ask me if you have any other problems if you're struggling with this.